My Conversations family. How are you all doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a great week. Taking care of yourselves. You all know I'm always checking on you, making sure you are taking care of yourself. So today I'm going to be talking about sacred healing. For those of you that have not subscribed to my podcast, Conversations with KCBass, it is on Spotify, Apple, Breaker. It's on a few platforms, but it is definitely on Apple, which is one of the most popular ones. I'm starting my new season, or season 2, and I'm going to be talking about sacred healing. I'm going to be talking about digging into the recesses of your trauma and making sure you are unearthing those things. You know what stops us? Pride stops us. Ego stops us. Trauma stops us from moving forward in life lighter. Okay? When we go through trauma, we kind of get stuck in this control dynamic where I'm going to control how much I allow another person in, or I'm going to control whether I am hurt or not. I'm going to control, when you use the word control, you already have removed surrender to the divine. And when you are on a spiritual journey, a sacred healing journey, there has to be a yielding and a surrendering to the divine, to the spirit, whatever you call it, okay? Whatever is, what spiritual path that you are on. You will oftentimes hear me refer to the Holy Spirit when I am speaking, but it is whatever path you are on, okay? And that is important. It's important that you understand sacred healing and spiritual journey go hand in hand, okay? And it can dictate how far you're going to go. All right, so my season 2 on my Conversations with KCBass on my podcast, we are beginning that, and I typically do one once or twice a month, depending on when I can squeeze it in. Okay, so today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how you can be stopped, and you're the person with the key to unearth that trauma. Okay? When you see these things present, you all may see me every now and again drinking my coffee because, listen, I haven't had all of my coffee yet. I had some of it, not all of it. When you see these things creep up, like I said before, pride, ego. I talk a lot about being so competitive. You're just in it to win it, and you're winning at all costs, no matter who you hurt. When you start doing things to people without any regard to their feelings. These are the things that are going to come up when there is trauma or woundedness present. And if you really want to heal, you got to go to those deep things of why you are the way that you are. You got to ask yourself those hard questions. Okay? I gave you a scenario. When there is trauma, control typically comes into play because you're trying to keep that thing from happening to you again. But let me share something with you. Even after you heal, someone may hurt you. Human beings are human beings. So you can't just heal and you're healed. It's not a one-shot deal. It's not like Walmart, one-stop shopping. Something else may happen, but you're healthy enough to know how to deal with the trauma because you've dealt with it before. Dealing with trauma now helps you on down the line when you come into that situation again. Okay? So what happens when we're wounded? Doesn't matter what kind of wounded it, whether it's betrayal, molestations, infidelities, anything that has caused woundedness, abandonment, rejection, anything that has caused woundedness, you start building a wall because you're trying to make sure you control the dynamic. Okay? The problem with that is a wall is not a boundary. A boundary has a gate. You get to dictate who comes in, who goes out. A wall, nobody can get in, and in truth, your love can't get out. And you're really not operating in divine love, which is unconditional love. You're not operating in that when you have walls up. So what will happen is someone can come in your life that really mean good for you. But because you have those walls up, you have them walled out, and you thinking you win in the game by keeping them out. Oh, I have total control. But what you've actually done is push someone away that meant for your good, that wasn't trying to hurt you. Okay, you could lose a valuable connection that way. Okay, a person that is valuable to your life. So you want to heal that trauma. You want to deal with that. Okay, Kelly, how do I deal with it? You start breaking that wall down. Why am I hurting? These are the questions you ask yourself. I'm hurting. You recognize you're in your body, so you know you're hurting. Why am I hurting? Okay, what is the event that hurt me? Is the person that's in my life right now that I'm making pay for this event, are they responsible for my pain? 9 times out of 10, they're not. 9 times out of 10, they're not. Usually it's someone years ahead of that person that you just have not dealt with that trauma. You have not dealt with that trauma. What is the event that caused it? Go back to the event, okay? If someone betrayed you, and you really put your trust in that individual, what lesson did you learn? The first lesson that you learn when you put your trust in someone that betrays you is you learn how to have better boundaries. You don't just randomly put your trust in someone. It's not random. You begin to build relationship and build the trust, because when trust is broken, it is difficult to build it again, but it can. 2 mature people can rebuild the trust if they both are willing to work at it. That's why it's so very important that you not betray trust. Okay, so if your thing was, I put all my trust in somebody and they betrayed me, so now I'm not going to trust anyone else, that's unhealthy. You've taken on that level of control. You built that wall, and you thinking you're winning, but you're not. You're not winning. You actually are keeping yourself apart. All your relationships will be very surface. No kind of emotional connection. The thing I love about healing, what healing has done for me, is my connections are deeper. You know, I'm emotionally connected. I'm not apart. I no longer have surface connections, and I love it. And so if someone tries to have a surface connection with me, I repel it, because I have to have. I don't know if that is the spiritual part of me or the Scorpio part of me. But I need depth in connection. I need depth and intelligence in connection, and the spirit, that divine intelligence. I need that exchange. And see, when you begin to realize what your needs are, you choose partners better, friends better. Someone that's not giving you that, you don't waste your time. But figure out, why am I hurting? Where did the pain come from? Who did it? Did my ex from a few years ago do it? Did my parents do it? Okay, because you can grow up in traumatic households. Did my parents do it? Okay, so my parents abandoned me. They were detached. Now I meet people and I'm codependent because I'm trying to find what my parent didn't give to me. That's unhealthy. You have to deal with those abandonment issues. Deal with that detachment. Okay, you have to accept the fact I have a detached parent, whether it be a mother, father, or a parent that was not there for me. They abandoned me. Okay? Accept that. It's hurtful. Accept that. I have to accept it to move on from it. All right? When you begin to accept that and begin to realize it wasn't my fault that they abandoned me, they had their own issues going on. They were detached because they really didn't know how to raise me properly. And more than likely, their parent taught them the same way. And it releases that burden. It helps you walk in forgiveness. It helps you not to hold that torch of unforgiveness and bitterness and resentment toward them, because they're actually doing what they're taught. And a lot of times people don't know any better. And they're really thinking they're doing it right. Even though you're telling them this isn't good enough for me, they don't know another way. So it releases that burden when you open up to forgiveness and realize they did the best they could with what they had. Okay? And that's not in every case, but in some cases they're doing the best they're doing what their parent and their grandparents taught them. That's all they know. And at some point, people get to the place where they're not willing to learn anything better. So you accept it. Okay? Doesn't make the pain any easier, but you accept it. All right? Once you accept it, you begin to build yourself up. Right? And begin to know you're valuable, you're worthy. Yes, I should have gotten it. I didn't. But then you begin, if it's parents, you can reparent yourself. How? You nurture yourself. You care for yourself. If it's a parent that didn't provide for you financially, you become successful in business or your career and provide for yourself. You're a big girl now. You're a big boy now. You can do that on your own. Your parent doesn't have to do that. After you get grown, you should not be dependent on your parents. Okay? At some point, you got to become self-sufficient. Like my stepdad says this all the time, every tub has to stand on its own bottom. Okay? Become self-sufficient. All right? Then you are providing for yourself. It's not on your parents. You're providing for yourself. And then you're not allowing your parents to make you provide for them. Okay? Because sometimes parents can flip the script and make you feel responsible for them, but they're actually responsible for themselves unless they are sick or, ailing or in a bad way. Okay? But if they're just being irresponsible and expecting you have to detach from that. You have to stand on your own 2 feet and teach others not to manipulate you with family obligation or friend and relationship obligation. There are times when people know you have it and they will want to pull it from you, but will not want to work for it themselves. And they don't feel a need to give it back. No reciprocity. Okay, so when you begin to dig in those traumas, and there are many areas, because once you dig out one area, another area will present itself. You will find that any traumatic event that happened in your childhood can dictate how you are with your friends, in your relationships, building relationships. Okay, you will find that you are so trusting and so dependent on the approval of people that hurt you that you won't even move toward what you really love because you're trying to please them. So unhealed trauma can be very detrimental to your success and even your life path. You can keep taking detours from where your heart is drawing you to because of trauma. Okay? So I'm going to make this a short video. I think I'm right at 14 minutes now. Okay? So think about why you're hurting. What event got you there? Who did it? Look at the time frame of your life. If you were a child, you can't help that. You couldn't have fixed that. But now you are an adult and you can. You do have the control over whether you heal or not. You may not have had control over who hurt you. They did it. Accept it. But now the ball is in your court. You get to dictate how you're gonna embark on this sacred healing journey. healing the trauma from within so that you can move forward in life with joy, with true joy, deeper connections, free of pride and ego. You have to get away from this, oh, I got them, okay? You're not winning. You're actually losing. When you choose not to heal, you stay stuck. You stay stuck long enough, it no longer seems to be a problem. This is why you can have people that are years in their trauma because they have now gotten used to it. They refuse to do something about it. Okay? I hope that helps. Subscribe to the podcast. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. You guys meet me over there. Still talking about healing, all things healing. I want you to take care of yourself. I think I'm going to finish my coffee. It's still hot to the touch. You guys have a fantastic day and a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Guess what? I love you, but you should love yourself more than me. Toodles.